Hello YouTube, thank you for tuning in my channel. This is Azrael. This video is going to be starting out the series of spirit work, which will include evocation, invocation, and necromancy. We're going to be focusing on necromancy first because I think that will be more practical for most of my viewers. Most people probably want to have a small conversation with their loved one as opposed to summoning a spirit like Baal or something like that. Okay, so invocation, evocation, and petitioning. These are usually the three forms of spirit communication. Petitioning is the most common, as it's basically wherever you go, at your altar, at your bedside, or at church, or in Mother Nature. You're talking to your dead loved one, or a saint, or a spirit, or God, or whatever, and you're just asking for blessings, or just to let your Aunt May that you miss her, right? Uh, Now the lines can be easily blurred between these things because technically, like for example, evocation and invocation, the major difference is evocation is usually outside your circle and or into an object like a scrying mirror, and invocation is usually within your circle or within your specific area. Or even in your body, like channeling. Channeling is a form of invocation. Automatic writing is a form of invocation because you're letting the spirit use your body to move. So if you don't have a circle, then your evocation could technically be an invocation because it's in your vicinity, it's in your area. So, in any case, not to split hairs, but the subtle difference can make a difference depending on what kind of spirit you're summoning. So, if you're going to be summoning a very malevolent, or I butchered that word, a very angry or uh, not a good spirit, you don't want to use it as a form of invocation. However, moving on. Um, Necromancy, if you read the old grimoires, it's pretty nasty stuff. They have you doing things like eating dog meat, avoiding salt in your diet, wearing clothes that was taken off dead bodies, um, even using blood and body parts and so forth. Uh, this isn't not this isn't needed. I don't doubt that these rituals worked. I'm sure they did, because what they were actually doing is called submersion, which I'm about to explain that in a minute. But this is very archaic form of necromancy, and very I mean, no wonder people call it the darkest of arts, right? But the truth is, it's not wrong to talk to your dead relatives, or somebody else's relative, or even just somebody that you have a question for whatever reason. Okay. Um, it is the duty of a necromancer, in my opinion, to protect the memory and the sanctity of the dead. And that includes their grave plot. So there's no desecration in my versions of necromancy. Um, Now, yeah, you could use bones. Yeah, you could. Matter of fact, you could spend money, $300-400. You could probably get a real human skull online. I wouldn't advise you as a beginner using that because that spirit might still be attached to it, and you would be using that skull to as a vessel, um, to speak with other spirits. So I'll get more into this as we go on. Um, I use animal bones, and yeah, and I would probably use a human relic. Okay, but again, there's advanced and beginner. We're going to start out as beginner. All right, there's no uh, for example, one of the uh, in ancient Babylon, there was a ritual where you would use a human skull. You would anoint it with oils after weeks of preparation, summon the spirit, and the spirit that doesn't necessarily belong to the skull enters the skull and starts to speak. Um, I might get into that later, but and that's one of the oldest forms of necromancy we know about, actually. But anyway, any case, Uh, the summoning of a human spirit is different than summoning an angelic spirit, a demonic spirit, or an elemental spirit slash nature spirit. However, some of the techniques are very similar. So the stuff that you're going to be learning in these videos will help you with both. Um, again, uh, necromancy is, people still today like to perpetuate that it could be a dark and evil thing. First of all, any form of magic can be abused and be dark and evil for any purpose. But these people, there's certain people on YouTube, um, of the, I'm not going to say their name because I'm not going to try to promote their channel in any way. But just about every video is an is an infomercial trying to get you to buy their stuff. Um, but because that stuff sells, promoting the uh, digging up a dead body and spreading it out like Christ, and then doing your chants and commanding the spirit to enter the body so it reanimate the body. Who now I'm not saying that can't happen. I mean, I have seen spirits animate dolls and stuffed animals. It's not as far stretched to control it something temporarily. But again, none of this stuff is we're going to be doing. The stuff that we're going to be doing, we're going to be using the symbolism and the techniques used for a modern in your house, uh, no desecration, anything ritual. So that's the introductory course. I mean, for the video. Um, so I will see you in the next video. Thank you.